about scents, we usually mean the smells or odors from cosmetics such as perfume, makeup, shampoo and deodorant, or from household products such as air fresheners, plug-ins, cleaners, waxes, and deodorizers. Even building materials such as caulking or adhesives can be sources of scent. Hello, I'm Rose Arsenault. The concern with scents and fragrances is that they can be made from many different chemicals, both natural and synthetic, which may cause different reactions in some sensitive individuals. Some people report mild irritation, while others report more serious reactions and must give up many normal activities in order to avoid exposure. In response to these concerns, some workplaces, schools, businesses, and organizations have initiated scent-free or scent-reduced programs. To avoid scent, the best thing to do is look at the label. If the word fragrance or flavor is in the list of ingredients, it is not fragrance-free. Not all scents may be responsible for harmful reactions in sensitive individuals. Sometimes the unscented components of a product are the cause of reactions, such as asthma. Just because a chemical is synthetic does not automatically mean it will cause a reaction. The same is true for natural materials not always being harmless. However, given the number of chemicals present in fragrances and other products and the very limited research on the health impacts, it may be helpful to include a broad interpretation in considering a scent-free program. When scented products have been blamed for adversely affecting a person's health, some or all of the following symptoms are reported: headaches, dizziness, nausea, fatigue, weakness, insomnia, confusion, loss of appetite, depression, anxiety, numbness, upper respiratory symptoms, shortness of breath, difficulty with concentration, skin irritation. It is important to note if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, you should see your physician to seek a medical assessment. Allergic and asthmatic patients report that certain odors, even the smallest amounts, can trigger an attack. In addition, those persons with multiple chemical sensitivity may also be affected. Someone who is familiar with the health impacts of scents is Dr. Brian Reed.
Scents can affect individuals in a wide variety of ways, and many medical conditions are impacted by strong scents and perfumes. The most, I think, well-known and common condition that can be affected by scents would be asthma. Asthmatics are often impacted negatively by a strong odor, and this can be variable as well. It could be as simple as someone coughing when they're exposed, or as they could be as severely affected that would end up with a hospital admission or even going back on their medications. Their reaction to the strong scent can be variable, also depending on how their disease was at the time that they were exposed. So if they're sick with their asthma because of a viral infection or exposure to an allergic allergen or maybe a strong chemical or pollution in the air, and then they're exposed to a scent as they walk through the door into work, the combination of those things may cause them to be much more affected than they normally would. Individuals with allergic rhinitis and sinusitis, they also can be impacted by strong scents. They'll often get worsening of their allergic symptoms. They'll get a stuffy nose or a blocked sinus. And I've had cases where individuals have gone on and actually had a sinus infection after they had a strong scent exposure.
Someone who is impacted by scents is Doris Ashfield. For her, the presence of scent can result in migraine headaches and asthma.
Well, when I enter a room, I become very quickly aware of the scents that are around, and it could be anything from personal products that people may be using, hairsprays, shampoos, deodorants, perfume as a product, or scents from candles or potpourri. Can also be cleaning supplies that they've used, varnishes, paints, and all of those products. Any of those products can cause me to have an asthma attack or just coughing. It starts out as coughing, clearing my throat, and it can escalate if I stay in the room, if there are a lot of triggers there. it can escalate and cause either an asthma attack or sometimes a migraine headache. And migraines can be very debilitating. They go on for a couple of days. I just kind of have to withdraw totally. And sometimes if I leave the room, I just have a headache for a little while, but some of the triggers can cause an instant migraine, and I just have to ride it out for a couple of days. So that's why I would avoid a store where potpourris and candles are on display and being used, but I don't like it to affect my social life, so if I have to go into a building, I just go and I live with the consequences, because I realize people can't remove all of the triggers.
Healthy air is considered a human right by the World Health Organization. It considers cosmetics and some other consumer products to be sources of indoor air pollution. It suggests that all occupants have a responsibility to protect those more vulnerable. Someone else who was impacted by scented products is Tom Lundy. Tom has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, a serious lung condition that makes breathing difficult.
Well, specifically, my particular respiratory ailment is called chronic obstructive lung disease, and it's, pretty much along the lines of people who, suffer from emphysema or bronchitis or asthma, and most scents will have a direct impact on myself, as well as those, who have these particular ailments. More often than not, it can be any cause. You can be walking through a mall, and most of the stores will have scents to keep their stores fresh and so on. And as soon as you walk through the door, it has almost an immediate impact on you. Myself, I start to wheeze. My throat gets sore. Airways start to tighten up, which makes it very difficult to breathe. Eyes start to water, and ultimately you start coughing, which, it further enhances your problem, because with the coughing and the narrowing of airways, you can't get, a decent breath. So you have to get out of there as quickly as possible and, find a place to sit, take an inhalation of the inhalers that you're using, for some relief.